Hello, my beautifuls, and welcome to another Critics Collective. Of course, before we get started, please like, subscribe, and comment down below. Today, we are actually going to be talking about the new movie that just came out, The Conjuring Last Rights. I got my girl here, Mayte, with me tonight, and we're going to be talking about this. Yes, I'm trying to get myself pumped up because I'm tired as fuck.
The excitement.
Yeah, just like, yeah. But I did want to share with you guys. I did get the poster that they were giving out at the
I love
Paragon
it.
movie theater. You know, I don't know if they still may have some, but if you get to go to the Paragon, they're giving out movie posters for the movie, while supplies last. But yeah. Uh The Conjuring. So this is supposedly supposed to be the last one. That's it. They're done. That's all we're getting.
I'm a little sad.
Yeah, a little bit. I feel like it's the end of an era, Um, from
Well,
Annabelle to Valak to all those other little minor creatures
but it's
or
like the end
ghosts.
to the Conjuring, not the whole universe, right?
Yeah, so maybe I really don't know. I haven't researched deep into it, so maybe it might be just the last of the Conjuring for Lorraine and Ed
Mhm.
Warren, just up
Yeah.
there. They may do something else with it. I mean, remember Matt Rife, he just bought their museum, and I heard, I don't know if this is correct or not, that he's trying to change it into an Airbnb.
That's crazy.
And
That
if
that would
that
be
is
crazy.
yeah, if
That's
that
not
is
good.
accurate, that is some crazy shit. I don't know who would be stupid enough to stay in that Airbnb, cuz not my punk ass.
I wouldn't either.
Yeah, like nah,
I'll
I'm
stay home.
good.
You
Exactly.
gotta
I'm good.
pay to do that.
Yeah, fuck that. I stay. Yeah, you're paying to possibly die. I'm
Yeah.
good. I sleep in my car if that's the case. You
Hmm.
know, like no, not today, Satan, not today. But anyways, so my say, what were your thoughts on this last movie?
I think it was a good ending to the Conjuring. Like, I really liked the cameos at the end. I was very satisfied
Mhm,
with that. Now, it was not one of their scariest out of the 4 Conjuring movies, it wasn't the scariest. I did like the
mhm,
story though. Like, it makes sense as to why this was their last case because after seeing the movie, if I was in their position, that would be like the last straw too. Like, all right, that's it. But
Come back.
it had it had good jump scares.
Mhm,
Um, there's one thing I want to say I didn't like. I would say it was more confused about it. Like I needed more of an explanation. I don't
mhm,
want to spoil anything. But I mean, I don't know if it's in the trailer, but I guess maybe a minor spoil, but just Annabelle kind of threw me off a little bit.
mhm,
That part just threw me off, but everything else was fine. I think it could have been a little bit more scarier.
mhm.
Um, I think that was just my only low, maybe. Just a little confused on that.
Got you. So I would have to agree with some of the points that you shared. I Some of my highs, of course, yes, the cameos as well. Um, I did like that, we were getting like a different story that wasn't connected to everything else that we've been getting, like with Annabelle and Balak, even though Annabelle did get sprinkled into it, but it was mostly, because of the daughter's fear of Annabelle. Um, and I do like that they're showing how, and I hope this is not a spoiler, but how they showed like, hey, it's the 80s now and you're not as popular. People think you're kind of bullshit now. And now, you know,
Yeah.
so it just shows like the highs and the falls of how popular the Warrens became and how they're like, yeah, no, you're not that cool anymore, you know. because I did like the play on the classroom because, you know, in the other movies, they showed them doing the lectures and how packed and crowded their lectures would be to how it
Yeah.
was now.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
That
all
was funny.
right. Like, but I would have to say some of my downfalls for this movie is that it was long and there was so much story.
There was so much story.
It was like a lot of talking, and there were a few jump scares, but there weren't enough scares in this movie. It was like sprinkled a little bit, and I felt
Hmm.
like the whole point, this is supposed to be a scary movie,
Yeah.
you know, and I'm not gonna pretend like I didn't jump on a lot of those like moments that I was like, oh shit, you know, because I really did. The only thing is that I felt like there wasn't enough.
Yeah.
There wasn't enough scary to it. The movie was so long that it's like you guys had plenty of time to stop all this damn talking and show us more scary and show us more of what the family was dealing with for months,
Yeah.
you know? So it's like they only gave us like, oh, this little bit here, this little bit there. And it's like, right. What else happened though? Like,
Yeah.
what else horrible happened to your family, you know? So I just felt like they didn't give us enough scare for this one. And like you stated, it's understandable why they felt like, okay, this is the last time we doing this. We're done, you know? They had plenty of
Hmm.
reason to make this their last,
Yeah.
you know? But I don't feel like it was a strong enough, like, this is the last battle, you know?
Yeah. I
And I
agree.
know the stories are supposed to be, they're based off of a true story, but of
Hmm.
course, they do add extra dramatization to make the story more spicy, you
Yeah.
know? Then it's like, you know, if you're gonna mix fact with fiction, then give me a little bit more juice,
Yeah.
you know? And I don't feel like they gave us enough of that in this one. I would say all of the other movies were way more scary compared to this
Yeah.
one, you know? And I'm not gonna lie, I was concerned because with everything I was hearing that they were like, "Oh, this one is like deep, it's scary, blah 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 blah." I went with my rosary. I had I had my holy water when I came. You know, I always sleep with my Bible. I don't know if y'all could see behind me that little book that's like dented against the little phone holder here, but I always sleep with my Bible above my head. You know, you never know. But I felt like, you know, there was so much hype and it kind of fell a little flat for me. It really
Yeah.
did. It really, really did. And sad to say that that's really all I have to share. Like it wasn't as like there's so much in this one that it's like, yeah, it just it wasn't there. It wasn't there like all of their other ones have been, you know, and it's a little upsetting. A
Yeah.
little upsetting, you know. Mayte, you have anything more to share on this one?
Not really.
No, not see, you see you guys? That's how disappointing it was. That we have not that much to share. That's how disappointing this one was. So I guess we could go ahead and rate this baby. Here on the Critics Collective, when we do ratings, we rate using accolades. 5 accolades being excellent, 4 being good, 3 being average, 2 below average, 1 poor quality, and 0 that it is just straight horrible. Now, I know y'all might be surprised. Y'all might be a little surprised about my grade, but Maite, I'm gonna let you go first.
I mean, I think I'm gonna give it. I don't know if it was because my expectations were too high, and then it was
Mm,
just like, it could be a little bit of that, but I think it's a 3. It was. I do have one comment. It was a long movie. It's 2 hours and 15 minutes, but to
mhm.
me, it didn't feel that long because I feel like when it got to the end, I was like, that's it. That's how I felt. So
Because there
I
wasn't
give
enough scare.
it wasn't enough
That's
scares for
it.
me. So definitely a 3. I wanted more scares.
I got you. I got you. Well, I honestly, other than going, other than having the experience of going to the movie theater, which I always enjoy, I always love going there, getting popcorn, your soda, you're watching a movie with your friends, family, spouse, whatever, just having a good old time. But the movie itself, honestly, I'm gonna have to give it a 2 because it really was below what my expectations for how the Conjuring universe has been. Like,
Yeah.
most of the movies have all been really, really good and entertaining, along with having a good storyline, you know? And I felt like this was all freaking story and so much talking more than scares.
Yeah. No, I agree.
It was you know, I
They
could
could
have
have
waited. I
we
could have
could have
waited for
done a
it to come out.
little we could have done with a little bit less scenes of Tony, the boyfriend. Like a lot of it wasn't that necessary. They had other movies to introduce him. I Even though the timeline, I get it was fresh, but I'm like, it wasn't really that necessary. He could have just
Yeah,
been there. He could have just been the fiance. And that's it.
exactly. But I think the whole purpose of them bringing him in is they were like, "Hey, you wanna be a part of this family? Let's show you what it's like being a part of this family."
Yeah,
You
for
know, they
sure.
didn't even give him training wheels. They just threw him in there,
Yeah,
and I
just
felt
like
bad because he got his ass tore up, you know? And he was
yeah,
like, "Fuck it, I still love you and wanna marry you," you know?
yeah.
I was like, "That's
That's
love.
low.
That's some real
Hmm.
love. Because I would've been like, "You know what? Keep the ring. I'm good."
Yeah.
But anyways, thanks everyone for joining us on another Critics Collective on doing a pretty quick review on The Conjuring Last Rights. Once again, like I previously stated, please like, subscribe, and comment down below. Tell us how you felt about the movie. If you thought it was good, if you thought it was bullshit, if you thought what we said was bullshit, please share with us. We like to hear it.